So a very good morning. Today we'll be discussing about two topics, cow vigilantism and legal prohibition. These are from the means point of view and even from the prelims point of view, these two topics are very important because in the past few months, if you are following the newspaper headlines, like these two topics, they have occupied most of the space in newspaper. So, and that, there lies its importance. Like it is a burning topic today. Cow vigilantism, it has like vigilantism has become a kind of wave in entire nation today. So we'll study about what is vigilantism all about, and that too in terms of cow vigilantism. The term vigilantism it means a forceful coercion. Vigilantism means a forceful coercion of a dominant group, a more stronger, a more powerful group on the weaker section of the society. Means they are forcing or they are creating violence against those people who don't have that much say. They don't have that much, like they are not very influential people in the society. So they are creating violence against them and taking, like it's the impunity or the freedom that they take so willingly, and they take law into their hands. And we'll see how it has become, like it has questioned the whole policing system of our country, the entire policing system, like, and the law order system. So this cow vigilantism, what they are doing, they are creating violence, in the sense they are sometimes, like if you see last year in western UP Dadri district, a man was attacked by this vigilant group people because he was suspected that some beef is there in his fridge, and that's why they said that it's against the societal norms, since they are not conforming to the norms of the society, they are slaughtering the cow, and because of that they attacked those people, attacked that man in Dadri, and finally they killed him. So what kind of justice is that? Like people don't have, even in this, we say that India is a full, like it's a biggest democracy in the world. So is there like should these group of people, do they have right to interfere in the private space of the people? And that is the issue all about. Here the vigilantism, if you like go into the history of vigilantism and in the entire history of cow politics, how did it came into being. So if you look at the epics, the historical epics, or according to Hindu mythology, there is no such strict ban on cow slaughters. There is no strict ban as such on the slaughtering of cow, because it has been time, like people mainly in Hindu tradition, it is a tradition, or it is a religious tradition in fact, to sacrifice animals at the religious places. Even the Muslims also, in terms of Muslims also, sometimes they sacrifice animals, or they have during some festivals. So there is no such strict ban against slaughtering of cattle. But if you come to like during 1880s, this entire again question of this cow slaughter came into being when Dayanand Saraswati, the propagator of Arya Samaj, he started setting up organization for the protection of cow, and he asked people, he didn't ask for any violence or as such, but he asked people to protect because he was very much in favor with the and protecting animal rights. So he he started a campaign for this cow protection in entire India, and finally after independence this issue becomes so much it becomes so burning, or the hot issue at that time, that the Indian government was compelled to include it in the directive principle of state policy. And finally, after independence, this preservation of cattle and the rules against slaughtering of cattle, it was included in the directive principle of state policy. If you look at other laws relating to this cattle trade or preservation of cattle, we'll see that even Article 48 of Indian Constitution, it also says that all the organization and individuals, they must endeavor to organize such campaigns to preserve and protect the life of the animals. Even in the 7th schedule of Indian Constitution, the 15th entry of that, it also says the same thing about preservation of cattle. Even the section 39 of Criminal Procedure Code, it also says about preservation of cattle. But if you see that these laws again, for the preservation and for protecting the rights of animals, the rationale behind the constitution was economic. The rationale behind all these laws of the constitution, it was economic, not religious. And gradually what? People started misusing these laws. In the name of religion, in the name of custom, they started creating violence in the society. They started creating atrocities against the weaker section of the society. And there the problem started. And these people, they even get encouragement, like some laws, acts are there, like in few states, like Gujarat. Gujarat has a law called Gujarat Cow Preservation Act 1956. Even Maharashtra Cattle Preservation Act 1956. Karnataka also has a law, Karnataka Preservation of Cow Slaughter and Cattle Protection Act. So if here these laws says that it makes it legal. It makes it legal to protect the cows wherever they want. Like it's the rights of the cow is being violated. The group of people from these organizations, they'll go and take law into their hands. So these all laws has to be discouraged, because if you see here, the rights of the the people, like the minority section, mainly in this case Dalits and Muslims has been included. So the rights of the Dalits have been undermined in the name of rights of animals. Means they are putting the rights of animals over the rights of the Dalits, and for that they are creating all atrocities against these minority groups. So but apart from these laws, if you see the effect of this entire cow vigilance campaign on the entire economy of India in general and farmers in particular, you'll find that farmers are the they are called the lifeline of Indian society. Their rights and their needs are being curbed. Their needs are being undermined, in the sense that cattle trade or the dairy farm, animal husbandry has been one of the lucrative occupation. It is the basis of their livelihood. And if these kind of beef ban and cow vigilance comes in, what will happen? They lose out their livelihood. The means of livelihood, it won't be there. So it is like primarily affecting the rights of the farmers also. So they are like they can't go for, like it was a case few months back that a group of people in that NCR region on highway, they were transporting the cattle from one place to another, and these vigilant group, they started following them, and finally they attacked them, saying that you are trading this cattle to make it, like to slaughter it. They never they never cared for the actual reason for what they are doing. Sometimes in Madhya Pradesh, 2 women were attacked for carrying beef to their home. Even recently in Gujarat, in Una district in Gujarat, the same thing happens. 4 Dalit people, they were like some dehumanized activities were done against them. So all these violence, they are like they must be exposed, like the hypocrisy of these cow protectors must be exposed as soon as possible. Because our Prime Minister, he said that actually these cow protectors, in the daytime they wear the mask of cow protectors in the name of religion, but actually they are the core criminals. In the night time they are the core criminals of the society. He said that if you look into if you go for a survey in the police stations of these areas, you will find that whoever is involved in this cow protection and creating violence, they'll have some name in some, they'll be like guilty for any of the other crimes. So they are the actual criminals. So even in the, not only the farmers, if you see like the entire economy of the nation, in fact, leather industry is one of the most labor intensive industry, means it creates employment on a large scale for the people in India. If you see for the last 2015-16 survey, India has made 80,000 crore turnover from this leather industry, and you know, it's through Make in India campaign, it's going to even double it by 2020. It's like it's going to double this turnover from leather industry. So you could see that what is the importance of this leather industry. So entire economy will be affected from these kinds of violence if these kinds of campaigns they goes on. And in case of cow, if it dies, it's not only its hide that is used in the leather industry, even the meat is used as beef, and its horns, its hooves, its bones, they are also very useful in pharmaceuticals company or jewelry making companies or some toiletries products. So all the industries, they are dependent on these things. So you just like people can't take law, like they can't take law in their hands like this and start like protecting because one of the main main issue with the farmers, they are saying that if this cattle slaughter is banned, what will happen is that the population of this cattle will increase. If the cattle grows and it becomes old, it's no more useful for the farming purposes also, for plowing purposes also. So what they should do with these cattle, and that will increase the number of stray cattle in the vicinity, in the surrounding areas, and that is because they don't have enough space to accommodate all the cattle, because it will go on increasing. They don't have so much funds with them to feed all the cattle, so they'll make them free, and that will create a stray cattle population around her, and that will again create like traffic problems in urban cities, if you like. So these are the problems that are like arising with these cow vigilance. Even if you see the political impacts other than economic impacts, the main political impact is the violation of law and order is happening. A kind of a condition of lawlessness it's rising, and that is like not good for the Indian society. That is put a question mark on the policing of the law and order maintenance of this India. Even it is these kinds of things, since they are targeting these minority groups. This is a threat to the Indian democracy. This is a big threat to the ideals of Indian democracy, because even Article 21, it says that it's a right to life and liberty. Under that, it comes the right to privacy. So, because of these cow vigilance campaigns and all, these rights are being violated. These fundamental rights of the people are getting violated, and that is a big question, a big issue. Apart from that, like many dehumanizing kind of atrocities is being executed against these Dalit people, since they don't have a much say in the political and economic platform. So they are their rights, they can't speak for their rights, though they have now started the protest and campaigns from the Dalit community. It has started, but India as a democracy has to see into this matter very sincerely, because if India want to be a developed state, these communal thinking has to go. This communal or the hatred towards different communities has to go. This like atrocities against these minorities has to go. And that is the call of the day. So the political impacts are there. Other social impacts, if you'll see that, they are creating a divide between different communities. They are creating a big divide between different communities. And just for their personal gains, these local religious organizations, they are doing these things. They are creating a gap between different communities. Like in terms of cow vigilance, you know, first they started creating a divide between Hindu and Muslim on communal basis, on the basis of religion. But if you see that they are again when they started atrocities against Dalits, they are creating a gap in the Hindu society itself. The Dalits are part of, like, not only the part of Hindu society, there are like a different religion they also have, but in this sense they are creating a fracture in the Hindu society itself. So these issue has to be tackled. Then okay, all these are the issues that we discussed, but coming to the most important part, as a civil servant you have to be, you know, focus more towards solution, not the problems. So these are the problems. Now we'll see how these issues has to be tackled. The first is that there should be a complete intolerance towards this cow vigilance. There has to be a complete intolerance attitude of the government should be there towards these people who are taking law into their hands, and they are saying that they are teaching the lessons to them. They are teaching the so-called lessons to them who are non-conforming the societal norms. So they are in that sense, and they are taking, and they are all free to take laws into their hands. So a kind of intolerance attitude is needed. They must be punished, you know, by the different laws under the constitutions. Then the role of the state again comes here. The state must identify these group of people. The state must target this group of people who are creating such kind of violence in the society, and they must take out, and they must be like their hypocrisy has to be exposed in front of the society, so that this become a kind of a lesson for other people. So that is needed. Even like the other the other issues that I talked about, the right to life and liberty. The Maharashtra government, in this sense, like the Bombay High Court, recently it upheld the law in Maharashtra, and it said that beef ban, like Maharashtra government, it bans the slaughtering of cow inside the state. But the Bombay High Court, it said that though it is banned inside the state, but if beef is imported inside the state from anywhere else, that should not be banned. Means, are you getting the point? Like the slaughtering of cattle is prohibited inside the state, but if it is being imported from outside, there should not be any ban on beef eating. Because it is the issue of private life, and that their fundamental right to privacy is there. So the government must not intervene into these issues. It should not intervene into the private issues or private lives of the people. Because in democracy, every individual have got the equal freedom to profess any profession. Because in case of Dalits, if you see, these Dalits, it is a traditional profession of Dalit. In villages, this is a traditional profession of Dalits to, if some cattle dies, they'll ask to take it away and clear up all the carcass and the dead body of that animal. And from that, they gain their livelihood. So it is the traditional occupation of these Dalits. So where we in democracy, constitution says that every people, they have the right to choose any profession, any trade, any business. So this should the state should not, or any other group, they should not intervene into these rights. These fundamental rights of these minority need to be protected. Then the other solution could be like this entire issue of cow vigilance. It should not be made a matter of politics. It should not get politicized. But because being politicized, its value is degraded. The concern should be to remove it, to eradicate this mindset, or to eradicate the hatred of different communities, communal feeling, that it's to eradicate that communal feeling from the society. It should not be encouraged through politics, politicizing. So it's a need that this issue of cow vigilance should not be made an issue in politics for gaining just votes. So this vote bank politics should keep at least these sensitive issues out of their ballot box. Even the case against these beef eating, they need to be they need to be resolved through science. According to science, beef or the meat, they are the rich source of protein. So if you think in terms of these poor section or the weaker section of the society, due to hike in the prices of pulses, from where they'll meet the protein needs, what their body needs. So from these beef eating and everything, they are getting that source of protein. So it should be like people should be persuaded on the basis of reason, on the basis of science, and this could be one of the good solution to this, to tackle this problem. And yes, like awareness should be created through different campaigns, through different street plays, and different workshops, so that people must become aware of these all sensitive issues. Because if they are like if they continues to be like that, they'll create a kind of violence, they'll create a kind of lawlessness, they create a kind of divide among the communities, and that is against the unity and integrity of India. So that people must be persuaded, they must be created, awareness among the people must be created, so that they should not take they should these the mask of these actual cow protectors, they must be like exposed. And as Mahatma Gandhi said, like protecting cow is not just protecting the rights of the animals. Protecting cow means it is a symbol of peace. It is a symbol of harmony. So protecting cow means you are protecting the rights of weaker section of the society. You are protecting the weaker section of the society. So if you want to actually protect the cow, you must first look at the rights, the fundamental rights of the minorities, not instead of like creating violence against them, killing them. So actually these rights has to be protected if you are actual cow protectors, because cow is always in Hindu, according to Hindu mythology, cow has been a symbol of respect, a harmony, a peace in the society. It is a totem, or symbol of sacredness. So protecting cow means you are protecting the rights of the weaker section of the society. Okay, so with this I come to the end to this topic.